The Charbonneau Commission into corruption in the Quebec construction industry has been the source of some explosive allegations. Stories of lucrative kickbacks and bribery. Testimony has already forced the resignations of several high-level politicians in the province. Now, in an exclusive report, one of the witnesses at Charbonneau is raising questions that reach all the way to Ottawa about someone who is today a Conservative senator appointed by Stephen Harper. The CBC's Wendy Mesley has been investigating this story, and she has the details.
Only one federal politician has been publicly identified as a person of particular interest at the Charbonneau inquiry into corruption in the construction industry. That person's name is Leo Housakos. Stephen Harper put Housakos in the Senate just after the 2008 federal election. Charbonneau investigators say Housakos' name came up because it was found on a guest list of those attending separate meetings at this elite club in Old Montreal. Meetings in 2007 and 8 between engineering executives, political fixers, and at least one construction boss accused at Charbonneau of having ties to the Sicilian Mafia. This letter from Housakos' lawyer says, although his name appears on the list, in no way whatsoever can this fact be used to link our client to illegal activities. A commission investigator sees it this way. The meetings show links between business people and political financing. When the Housakos name surfaced, the Prime Minister was asked if he had confidence in his appointee.
I have no information of any credible allegation against this particular individual.
The judge has heard testimony hinting that the system was fixed for contracts, not just in Quebec, but at the federal level too. But that's not her mandate, so she's not going there. So we started asking questions about Leo Housakos, but quickly found out many people didn't want to talk. At Charbonneau, allegations are given immunity from lawsuits, but that's not the case in the media. We did, though, find one person who was willing to go on camera, someone with a certain experience in the kickback business and who says he had dealings with Housakos in the months leading up to the federal and provincial elections in Quebec in 2008. After construction boss Lino Zambito was caught on camera paying off the mob, he started talking, telling the commission how companies like his were not only paying off the Mafia, but also making large, illegal donations to city and provincial parties. And one of those parties, he tells us, was the conservative-leaning ADQ led by Mario Dumont. Dumont's chief fundraiser at the time, Leo Housakos.
He just asked me, I need 30,000. Could you raise me, people friends, raise me for 30,000 of checks?
The legal limit then in Quebec was $3,000. So Zambito said he understood he had to use something called a pretno, or straw man scheme, a secret system suddenly made famous and public at Charbonneau, where large illegal donations are made to look like a series of small legal ones from lots of different people. How did you raise the money?
The family, employees, making them do checks, and I used to give them the money cash. And I raised back then 25,000 by checks, and I gave them to Leo for the...
You gave them to him personally?
Yeah, I gave them to him personally.
We asked again for an interview, but through a spokesperson, Housakos declined, saying he's never participated in any questionable fundraising and is not interested in talking to smear merchants.
But Leo thing I gave him was checks.
While it was never explicit, Zambito says he believes everyone knew the game.
They all say, us, we took checks, they're legal, but they all knew the system, so today no one's going to make me believe that they didn't know what was happening,
So why did he participate?
He's one of the main guys. It's all scratch my back and I'll scratch your back.
Back then, the ADQ seemed on the verge of forming the next Quebec government, and the sight of Mario Dumont and Stephen Harper together sent a signal. Zambito says companies like his were willing to pay for access. Zambito says he tried to gain influence through Housakos at the federal level, too. He says Housakos came to solicit donations for one of Harper's star candidates in the 2008 federal election, Claude Carignan.
Claude's running, he's a close friend of mine. Could you help me out? asked my father, asked my mother. They both scratched a check of 1,100 each. I scratched a check of and I gave it to him.
It's important to note that those donations were completely legal, but Zambito, a diehard Liberal, says he only donated because he believed Housakos had connections in Ottawa. A little later, Carignan was also appointed to the Senate, and Harper recently promoted him to government leader there as part of his efforts to clean up the upper chamber. We reached out to Senator Housakos several times, but he repeatedly declined an interview. He did, however, deny he's done anything wrong. The leader of the ADQ, during the period that Housakos was the chief fundraiser there, said tonight that he was not aware of and did not participate in any illegal fundraising schemes. But he, too, declined any further comment. Peter?
All right, Wendy, thank you. Wendy Mesley here in Toronto. And Wendy will have more on this story tomorrow night, right here on The National.